thought I'd share a little update, take a little break, just finished tearing out this room. Seeing signs for the first time on the wood in this room, the kids' room, is in black mold there. On the base of the frame, the wall frame. Same thing in this room. This is the wall that is the double wall on the other side of this. It's the utility room, which is going next. It's all torn out. The closet's all torn out. But I think 16 inches in here, and there's 12. See the little jigs I made to measure the walls quicker, saving a lot of time already. So in this room, I'm going to turn this down. Turn down the volume. Saving this room till last, because I figure this room has the best circulation. So this will be the last room I do with the drywall, but you'll see that I've torn this room out because it's very poorly circulated. It's under the stairs. It's actually pretty dry in here after I took the fan to it overnight. Did that yesterday. Haven't done anything in here yet, just kind of saving this for last. This room and this room here, which is the closet leading out to the back door, is full of yard stuff for the most part. And it's probably the only room in the house actually that has a strong smell of mold left. Even the bedroom in here, I haven't taken that off yet. It was pretty, and the wall does show a lot of mold. But I've been running a dehumidifier in here non-stop. This is the first time I've taken it out in mostly all week. You can see the really bad wet spot here in the corner. But I'm actually doing this room next. Actually, I'm going to do the shared wall between the kids' room and the furnace room. And I'm kind of assuming this is also a shared, this back of this closet is probably shared with the utility room behind the hot water heater. So before I do that side of the utility room, I'm going to do this side. I think it's going to make it a lot easier. On the other side, particularly where I have to cut out the drywall from behind the, actually I'm just going to put a note here, because I was going to go 16 inches on the other side of this. And I'm trying to mark that here, 16, not 12. I was going to do 12 here, but like I said, I could be ripping this out. If this follows a pattern off the kids' room and that shared wall between the furnace room, that will have insulation in it, because the kids' room did on that side, facing the furnace room, and it was soaking wet. Probably the worst spot so far in terms of how high the insulation, the water and the insulation climbed. It probably climbed about 8 inches in spots. For the most part, I've seen 4 to 5 inches in terms of the moisture in the bottom of the insulation. So that's that. And the utility room, you see here, is climbed. See a couple of spots here. That looks like about 14 inches, so I'm going to go with 16 here. I'm going to go to about 16 cut up there. And if I see mold on the back of the drywall and on the other side of the wall, I will probably go back in the kids' room and take that to 16 as well. I side cut it. I just finished cutting it to 12. And then I'm going to do this wall. And this is the shared wall I was just talking about. That's on the other side of the closet, I'm hoping. And you see here how tight it is behind the furnace. So I think it's going to be a lot easier. Not that it's going to be easy from that side. It's cramping the closet too, but obviously it's a lot more accessible from that side than it is this side. And then You know, the last walls that are going to go, and then after this, I cut out that wall and this along the foundation. The last walls I do will be this wall here, and then this wall. But the interior walls are the last ones I'm going to do because I'll cut a little piece here, and here, but I'm kind of assuming there's no insulation behind these. Same with this wall. There's no insulation under the stairs, and this is the other side of that. So I know there's no insulation there, and I would assume the same here in the bedroom. But after I finish that one along the foundation on the other side of the kids' wall, I'm going to do this room and hopefully cut out the drywall over here. That way I can get fans going on this side, blowing towards the furnace room, and a fan from the kids' room blowing towards the furnace room as well. So it's going to be blasting out the furnace from both sides. So hopefully I'll get a nice. The fans I have are pretty powerful, so it should dry that out pretty good. And I'll run probably both dehumidifiers simultaneously while that's going on in there as well, and probably close all the doors overnight so the dehumidifiers focus on those rooms, that space. And then once that's done, I'm going to do the last couple here. I'm going to do the bathroom. Probably tear out 12 inches to start. There's not really any sign of mold on these walls at all. There's maybe one little patch right by the bathtub, and one little spot there down by the baseboard. And then this wall will be one of the last ones as well too. And then finally the last space I have to do is this space here, the hallway to the backyard. And you can see about the damage it is here. This is where the water seems likely to have come in. You see the debris on the door. I cleaned out and I did a rough clean in this room. It was pretty filthy. But you see the outside of the door here. And you see the debris on the siding here as well. And up towards there. So it almost like it gets streamed down. You actually see some damage in the earth here where it's kind of cracked. It's kind of, the soil's kind of pulling away. So I'm thinking that it funneled down through here from the top of the hill. And there's always been a dip here, it's a slight dip. I don't know if you can see this in the video, but this came down quite a bit. This will probably take a yard of topsoil to level it back out, but that's pretty far down the priority list. And then finally, the last room, I haven't even touched this room yet. It's the only room that's untouched. But there's not really a whole lot of value in here. And not much that could be really damaged. Some stuff in the top shelves. I don't even know what's in those boxes. So, but those would have been untouched by the water anyways. But you see here how bad the mold is in here. I'm only saving this room till last because I want to get the main area. I can kind of cut this room off easily and it doesn't propagate the mold spores throughout the basement. So that'll be the last one. And then this wall, which may be insulated. And then again, and then I'm going to this room. I'm saving this room. Well, aside from the interior walls of this one here, which I know are not insulated, on the other side of the here, I know they're not insulated already because I already cut out the storage room. But then the last ones I do, and I know there's moisture behind these walls here, but again, I'm kind of making an assumption because this is the best ventilated room in the house, or in the basement, I should say. That, and again, this has been aired out. And the fans go into this room anytime they weren't being used by the secluded rooms. And that should be the end of the mold. I'm figuring with any luck by the end of the day tomorrow, I'll be going to bed with no more mold in the basement. I think the last remaining mold is in these dry walls and the insulation behind it. So all the baseboards have been taken out with the exception of the ones in the hallway, and this room, the bathroom, and in the storage closet, and that's not very much. The trim kit goes pretty quickly. And actually the drywall and insulation goes pretty quickly too. It just leaves behind quite the mess. So it's going to be, I'm going to have to figure out how to either work around these are forced hot water radiators. So I'm going to need to figure out either how to cut those away, but that would be tricky. I'll probably have to get somebody to do that if it comes to it. As you see here, they're not electric. You can see the water line. I'm sure there is a feed and return in that. I'll be running along. I'm guessing they're going to either run along this wall. I don't think it's this wall because I would have seen water, would have seen lines coming through here along this wall back to the furnace room. So I'm guessing they're going to be on this wall. So I'm going to have to be careful coming along this wall. I'll probably do a utility knife instead of the Dremel tool along here, just so I can take a bit more time, but at least that way I'll know if there's any pipes. I'm assuming they're kind of going along under here, very low to the baseboard. But I'm kind of hoping I can cut out the drywall on top of it. It'll pull away from the radiator, but we'll see. That could be tricky. There's a couple of these in the bedroom and one in the bathroom as well. So, but we'll see. Probably get to that tomorrow sometime. Okay, that's it. I mean, I guess this is the last part of this. Is you see here, the only thing left to go in the. I was very lucky and fortunate and very thankful to Kyle McDonald, who borrowed this off a friend of his. So, I mean, I got everything, pretty much everything in here, with the exception of the drywall and insulation that I haven't cut away yet. And after that, we're just gonna, Kyle and I are gonna throw these last couple of couches on top of the load and take it to the dump. So again, this probably would have cost me close to $1,000 if I had have gotten a commercial rental, and those guys weren't available until they said they couldn't really tell me, but they figured it was going to be a week to 2 weeks away before they get a dumpster down here. So Kyle really saved my ass in this one. And the guy apparently doesn't want anything for this, but I'll probably give him $100 or a case of beer or something, which is a steal. And I'll probably be looking at $200, $300, $400 disposal fees at the dump. And yeah, the couches. So we're getting there. Lots of progress, but still, a solid couple of days worth of work left to be rid of the mold. All right, well, I'm going to get back at it.